By next year, he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in the league, and that includes the 2 big dogs, Brady and Rodgers. He makes you dig to the deepest part of your competitive juices to beat him. CC, is Richard Sherman right on the fact that Watson is on the verge of being a top 5 NFL quarterback? He did get a first-hand look at him this past weekend.
Richard Sherman is one of my favorite players in the NFL, not only because he plays, but the things he said are well thought out. Not only is he talented, but he plays football not only with his body, but with his brain. And he has the kind of the pulse of the NFL, and he keeps his ear to it a lot closer than a lot of other players. A lot of players are in their own little world. They don't care them about themselves. But Richard, he's always outspoken about league-wide issues. So, yes, I listen to great players because it is not the norm in the NFL that when you have a press conference and people ask you a question, that you begin to shower praise upon the opposition. You know, Richard Sherman, he had 2 interceptions in this game, didn't he? That's a good time to talk about himself. But when you see a great player or a great coach and they go out of their way, it's time for us to take note because this is not the normal coach speak, player speak. He's giving accolades to a guy. He feels like it's important to let you know what we saw today. Like, what we saw was magical. And it wasn't Aaron Rodgers. It wasn't Tom Brady. But I faced those guys, and these guys didn't necessarily do what he did. And Richard's also taken into account, man, this is a good defense we got. Yeah. We were playing at home. I mean, the offense, he said it. The offense bailed us out. Like, he carved us up. So for me, I got much respect for Richard Sherman. He's right on the pulse as far as the league. And yes, Deshaun, this is one of the next great quarterbacks. As far as top 5 and all that really don't matter to me, all right? This guy's going to be real special, and we were able to witness him playing with only, 7 games experience?
Yeah.
I mean, it's only going to get better.
Richard Sherman is wrong. Because Richard Sherman says he's going to be, that's in the future, one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football. This year, he's already been one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football. Like this year, I'll give you Brady, Russell Wilson, Drew Brees. I'll even give you Aaron Rodgers, but he's hurt now.
Yeah.
The rest of that top 5 is Deshaun Watson. Can he maintain it? I think he can. They lost their left tackle, but they didn't have their left tackle but for 1 game, Duane Brown. Like, it's not like he had been relying on Duane Brown all season long.
It will make it more complicated.
I'm just looking at where you have Deshaun Watson in, like, the categories that matter in passer rating. Where is he? Oh, he's top 5. In passing touchdowns, oh, he's number 1. In yards per pass, which is my favorite stat. How many yards are you getting each time you throw the football, complete or incomplete? What's the average? Oh, he's number 2 at 8.3. He is already playing like one of the very best quarterbacks in football. And to go into Seattle and do something no quarterback in the history of the league's ever done, have at least 400 yards passing, 50 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. No one's ever done that. That is your not just welcome to the league moment, but welcome to this elite tier moment.
What I'm afraid is going to happen, and what I don't want to happen, and sometimes we here are all guilty of it, is, of course, he's going to have a tough game. He's going to have a stretch of tough games coming up. What he did on Sunday was lights out. Everything worked perfectly for him. I don't want us to have the conversation after he does is, well, did we jump too fast on Deshaun Watson? This kid's a good kid. I know we do that. You don't do that.
No, Jenna, that's what we get paid for. Look at Cam Newton. Look how Cam Newton started. Look at the questions we have about Cam Newton.
I understand, but we're 7-8 years into Cam Newton. We're 7-8 games into Deshaun Watson.
Listen.
He's got a good head on his shoulders. I love his approach to the game. I love his demeanor in the game, and I love the way he plays football. So I want him to, when he does struggle, I want us to say, it's okay.
Deshaun got Jenna Wolfe is a fan for life the day he gave his check to those lunch ladies at the Houston cafeteria.
I picked Houston.
Jenna picked Houston to go to the Super Bowl. He then saw that, and so Jenna will always be a Deshaun Watson fan, and I love you for that. I want to react to what you're saying. I hope we do start dissecting his bad games, because that means you're a great player.
Dissecting his bad games is different than wondering and second-guessing ourselves whether we anointed him to something that he's not.
What's up, CC?
Jenna, I just see in the future, Deshaun Watson, are you in or out?
Is this a much...
I just see it in the future, because that's what we do, okay? Duane Brown, he won. And the reason why, he's with a Super Bowl contender, probably for the rest of his career. John Snyder, great general manager of Seattle, said that he hopes that Duane spends the rest of his career there. So he's got one more year left on his contract. That means as a 32-year-old, he's getting ready to get a contract extension. You know, so being able to play with the type of defense, being able to play in Seattle, and he didn't like the owner, Bob McNair.
Yeah.
Had a distaste for him. Not just recently, but he had one previously. If you look at all his comments and everything, he was basically the team spokesperson after being back for a week. So Duane Brown is the huge winner in this trade.
I want to talk about what this means for Seattle in a moment. But first, on Bob McNair, my initial reaction to this was those comments are already hurting the team.
Yes.
Guess what Rick Smith realized after this weekend? Duane's not going to sign an extension with us. Now, Duane wanted a new contract 2 years early. The Texans have only ever done that for J.J. Watt. So they weren't going to do that for Duane. That's why he held out. But they give guys new contracts with 1 year left all the time. That was the plan. Duane Brown, you know, as long as you stay healthy this season, the rest of the way, you'll get a new deal. But I think it was very clear to everyone involved, Duane being as vocal as he was, Duane reaching out to various media members and talking about Bob McNair. This time, Bob McNair, after President Obama was elected, coming in the locker room and saying what a bad day it was and how when Duane was a young player, how unsettled he was by that. Like, a lot of things came out to where now the Texans had to feel like, man, this is our best chance to get something back for Duane. But, man, it doesn't make a lot of sense for them right now.
No.
I know they need help on defense, but what is the reason the Texans make this television show? What is the reason they are a relevant football team, or a truly relevant team for the first time in the franchise history?
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. Who's the most important player on the team for Deshaun Watson?
Who's the most important
Duane.
person in the franchise besides the owner? I mean, he owns the team.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson, yes.
Right. And Duane Brown, I know he survived this year without him. I understand that. But now you have Cris Clark as your left tackle. That's not a great situation for him.
No.
And so that's the takeaway for the Texans. For Seattle, CC, your Super Bowl pick just looks better and better as the year goes on.
Yeah. They're trying to win. They traded a second-round pick for Sheldon Richardson from the Jets. Now they trade another pick and a player to get Duane. I mean, this is one of the elite left tackles. These guys don't grow on trees. I mean, they got a lot better as a football team.
How good can Russell Wilson be with this guy blocking him?
Well, this is the thing. They have to get a running game. Now they can run to their left. But what Duane Brown does, though, he gives so much confidence now to the left guard, because the left guard know that the left tackle is a beast. He gives so much confidence to the center, who's calling the protection, and now he gives a lot more confidence to the right tackle because they can put a back, they can put a tight end on that side. So when you have a dominant player on the line, it makes the whole unit that much better. So Russell Wilson, I mean, he's been running for his life the last 3 years. And Russell Wilson is feeling a lot better because they stopped spending money on all those defensive players and got him some help on the offensive
And
side.
I just want to know what the Texans' plan on the offensive line is, because that was an important note. So that second-round pick is in 2019. So the Texans don't have a first or second-round pick this year. Now, they did get an extra fifth-round pick this upcoming year, but they already this season, what team has allowed the highest percentage of pressures? The Houston Texans. What team's allowed the most sacks in the NFL? The Houston Texans. Like Duane,
with an athletic quarterback.
Exactly right. With a quarterback that's avoiding a lot of those sacks. Duane was going to help them for this year and next. They don't have a first or second round pick to improve the offensive line this upcoming season, right?
Yep.
And now what they're just all of a sudden they're going to do what the Giants did on defense 2 years ago on their offensive line. That's easier said than done.
Do you think now they regret maybe possibly not signing him during his holdout, not offering him something?
Jenna, they won't admit it. They'll say that we have a corporate policy. We never sign anyone, but you did sign J.J. All right? Now, J.J., Defensive Player of the Year multiple times. Yes, he is an exception to the rule, but you have to keep your good players. And it's hard not to reward players that have been in the system. They did the same thing to DeAndre Hopkins last year, so I'm not surprised. But Duane Brown, he won in this, because he got out of Houston, he didn't like the owner, and he's with a championship caliber team.
I guess I'm just curious why they traded him. They know they need him.
Oh, I think there's...
They got him back in.
No.
They weren't going to lose him if
I'm telling you, I think the owner
But that just happened. I mean, I know he's had issues, but that just happened.
Exactly.
He just got there.
That just happened. And guess what? You got a lot of young. What's CeCe's point about this offense that's unrelated to this but related in this way? It's young players.
Yes.
Those young players are not comfortable speaking about this. This is a
Duane was the only one who could say something.
And now
J.J. Watt could have said something, but decided not to say anything. He's been outspoken on every other subject, but on this one, we can't find J.J. Watt.
Right? And so the players literally said, ask Duane, he's our point person on this, right?
Yes.
We're not going to the rookie quarterback.
So they were worried he wasn't going to play for them or not want to play for them? So he's unhappy, so they just traded him?
No, I don't think it's that he's not going to play for them. I think it is this guy
wasn't happy.
And he's clearly going, he's not going to be quiet.
There was going to be no quick resolution.
Right. This is now a story continues.
So McNair didn't say anything, he's still on this team?
I think it's much more likely. I don't think the Texans, after playing that well on offense in the first game with Duane Brown back,
Duane Brown
said,
I don't like the owner. This is not the first time he said something idiotic. I haven't liked him for a long period of time. Hey, it was time to pack his bags. And the trade deadline coming today.
They just shot themselves in the foot with McNair's comments.
Probably
a million other reasons, but that was just one of them.
Right.
But when you're rich, you don't care. You can get away with stuff like that.
All right, we're going to take a break. Coming up, move over Patriots and Eagles.
Yeah, a rich man. Yeah, it still hurt, though.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.